How to work with negative numbers. Now, we're going to look at this in the context of just ordinary numbers, but this is a really crucial skill when you actually start to work on algebra. It's one of the things that sometimes trips people up. So we're going to start by looking at what we need to do if we're going to add or subtract with a mixture of positive and negative numbers. One of the ways that you can help yourself out with this is to think of it in terms of like a thermometer. So I've got a pretend one here, if you like. Here's our 0 mark. So let's look at this first question. So we've got to do -8 minus 12. Now with using this, we don't have to be precise, okay? It just has to go on roughly. So we're going to say that that is where -8 is. So I'm starting at -8 and then I've got to go down another 12. So if I go down another 12, I would end up at -20. So -8 minus 12 is -20 altogether. So with this one, we're starting somewhere down here at -14. And this time it says we need to go up 8. So we've got to think about where would we get to if we jumped up 8 places. And if you need to, you can literally sort of bounce along and count your 8 places. And you will get to -6 in this case. Now another way that you can kind of think of these type of ones as well is you've got more negative than you've got positive, so it's going to be a negative answer. So here's another example. I might do the other side of the thermometer to do this one. So we're starting up here this time with 4 and we're going to go down 12. So to do this, we need to think of it in jumps. So to go to 0, we're going down 4. So how many more do I need to go down? I need to go down another 8. So my next jump is going to take me to -8 in that way. So 4 minus 12 is going to be -8. Okay. So we're going to look at some slightly more complex ones to do with the adding and subtracting now. And these are ones where we have this situation where we've got two signs next to each other, right next to each other. Okay, so this is different from the ones that we've just done. So if you encounter one that looks like this, the first thing you need to do is take care of the two signs and transform them into one sign. So it's quite a simple rule to remember. If both the signs are the same, then it turns into a plus. If you've got one of each, it turns into a minus. So if we look at this example here, we've got two minuses, so they combine together to actually make it a plus. In this example, we've got one of each, a plus and a minus. So the minus wins out in this case. And here we've got two negatives, two of the same again together there. So we've got a plus overall. I think this is quite a useful way to actually sort of write and do the workings out. So you can still see what was there before, but now you can see clearly what your sum is asking you to do. So if we put in our pretend thermometer again here, so for this first one, we're somewhere down here at -6, and then we've got to add 5, so we've got to go back up 5. So we're not going to quite get to the 0, we're going to get to -1. So -6 plus 5 is -1. This one here, we're starting at -4, and then we've got to go down another 6, so we're going down this way another 6, so that's going to take us all the way down to minus 10. Now you don't always have to draw the thermometer. Once you get used to it, you can probably just do it by picturing it in your mind. So last of all here, we're going to start up here this time on 3, and we're going to add 4. So actually you probably don't even need to use the thermometer to do this one. Hopefully you can see 3 plus 4 is literally 7. Okay, so we've covered adding and subtracting with negative numbers. So now we're going to look at how we do multiplying and dividing. Okay, all right, I forgot my dots there. So the multiplying and the dividing every single time. So it's one rule that works for all situations with multiplying and dividing. And that is, if both the numbers have the same sign, it's positive. If there's one of each, it's negative. All right. So we've seen this rule already, but this works every time with multiplying and dividing. Whereas before it only worked with them if they were right next to each other. So these aren't next to each other, but because it's multiplying and dividing, it's the same rule as we've just encountered. So we've got a minus times a minus, so that means that our answer will be plus. Wouldn't normally write a plus there, but just to exaggerate it. And then 6 times 2 is 12. So you can literally separate working out the sign from doing the actual number crunching. So here we've got a minus and a plus, so our overall result is going to end up being a minus. And now we just do 24 divided by 2, which is 12. So here we've got a minus and a plus, so the overall result is going to be negative. And then we just do 7 times 4, which is 28. Here we've got a minus divided by another minus, so they're both the same, so it's going to be a positive result. And 18 divided by 9 is 2. So that's the rules we have for working with negative numbers.